Welcome to Chapter 6 of the DIY demo. If you have not seen Chapter 1, please watch it so that you fully understand the demonstration and are aware of the safety precautions involved. In order to pause the video in between steps, press the button of the video. Press it again in order to restart it. Now we can begin. Take out the MCB and connect it to the I-out current output. In the manual, you can see the characteristic of the MCB that we are going to test. It has a 13 amp rating. Instead of creating single shots, we will create and run a test sequence in flex mode. Start with a fast trip at a 5-fold overcurrent of 65 amps with a timeout of 2 seconds. And set the trigger to an overload at I-out. When the MCB trips, Compano 100 will record its operating time. Later on, you will need a sufficient amount of time to close the MCB manually and clear the overload for the test device. So now you need to add another state with an output current of 1 amp, a timeout of 10 minutes, and then you need to set the trigger to I-out overload go. Now add a state without an output that will leave you enough time to put the MCB down before the next output begins. Add a fourth state with an output current of 39 amps, where the MCB trip time should be between 6 and 30 seconds. Once again, we need to set a timeout and set the trigger to an overload at I-out. Add 2 more states that will allow you to close the MCB, clear the overload, and safely put the MCB down before the next output occurs. Add a stability test with an output current of 13 amps for 10 minutes for the final state. Your sequence should look like this now. Make sure the MCB is closed. Press the Start/Stop key. The MCB trips immediately. Close the MCB. After a while, the MCB trips again. Close the MCB again. During this last 10-minute stage, the MCB should not trip. Verify the results. State 1 displays the trip time at an overcurrent of 5 times the nominal current. When the overload is detected, the measured current is already close to zero. The result is the time and not the current. State 4 displays the trip time at an overcurrent of 3 times the nominal current. During State 7, the MCB did not trip. This completes the MCB test. Please put the MCB and cables back into the case.